So Manju said he had some power issues, so he may or may not join the session today. So we have rest of us. So in yesterday's compliance management thing, finally it was with the VB script, right? And the process, everything was working fine, but the VB script was not triggering and it was not installing Google Chrome as an auto remediation thing. Later I worked on that, and as you can see, it shows as compliant and it has automatically installed Google Chrome again. So this I have already recorded it. Actually, I couldn't get a chance to upload the recording, but anyways, I'll do that upload to today. There are two videos, I think 2 or 3 videos pending from my side to be uploaded, but this compliance management thing has been completed. And guys, the other day we discussed about the remaining topics. So what are the remaining topics here? Can anyone tell me what are the things which we still need to cover? See, one day is completely for that, the final session, right? What other things needs to be covered? Amar, on the other day we discussed, right?
Yeah, Manor, I'm just trying to recall that.
See, you asked for custom reporting, though that was covered, but you asked if custom reporting can be covered. So that's one thing. I'm also opening the drive. Just give me a minute, guys. So if I'm not wrong, today is day 22, right? Because I see on the drive till day 19 I have all those all the content uploaded. So I missed uploading content for 2 days, I guess. So day 20 and day 22, which day 21, which is yesterday. So today is 22. So today and tomorrow we'll have 2 topics covered. Right? Today and tomorrow we'll have 2 topics covered, and then on the final day we'll have just related to the any Sccm questions that you may have, and the log files, the quick reference, interview related things, stuff, and all that. So to my knowledge, custom reporting is one that I need to cover, and let me see if I have the Sai. What else needs to be covered according to you?
Remember the backups, custom reports, backups. Hello?
Yeah.
Manor, I think even the upgrade was supposed to be
Yes, yes. So I brought that.
upgrade of it.
So guys,
Okay.
if you can see it on the screen, I brought it up. So the other day when we discussed, we thought of concluding the patch management. That's done. Covering software metering. That's done. Compliance management is completed. Right. Quick references for the last day. So then we have custom reports, and then backup and restore and repair concept, and then downloading 1702 media and upgrading it and showing it to you how to upgrade from 2012 R2 to the latest media, right? So let me in that case cover custom reports today, right? And tomorrow it will be, these both are in line. because backup and restore or repair whenever any issues happen, right? Especially related to SQL replication issues. That's when we go ahead and do this repair activities. So how to do that repair activity, and then even downloading 1702, right? So as I told you, after 2012 R2, right? 1511, the initial update which was released, right? As part of the current branch, it used to be like you have to first install that version. That means you have to upgrade using you have to download the media and you have to upgrade your 2012 R2 environment to 1511, and afterwards you have this one of the new site system rules, service connection point, and if you have that connection point, going further, all the new updates, you don't need to download from the media, download a media and upgrade, and upgrade the distribution points, upgrade all the different hierarchy servers and everything. It is an in-console update. So within SCM console, it will show you like, okay, after 1511, okay, you have 1602 or whatever Microsoft released, right? So every time Microsoft releases a new CBB, it shows you there, and you have an option to just trigger and install, and automatically your not only the site server, even the consoles and also client agents, everything will get upgraded from the just in console upgrade option, right? So I want to show you that first, like upgrading 2012 R2 to 1511, and from there, so that you will also know how to do an in console upgrade, and from there I'll show you how to upgrade to 1702, which is the latest one, right? So once you upgrade to 1702, what are the new things that are coming in the SCM console, some highlight features which are the key factors that I can show it to you, right? So that I'll have it for tomorrow. So today custom reports, and then finally on the last day we'll have the quick reference session. So anything else that you are looking forward for? Anil, from your side, anything else are you looking for?
No, Manoj, I think it's covered all the topics.
Okay, because I just wanted to take a feedback from you. So what and all are missing, so that we still have 3 days time, right? If you want me to cover anything,
Sure.
I can. Okay, fine. Yes, then if there's done, let me start with custom reports. Okay, so see, the very first thing in reporting is requirements gathering, right? First, understand your customer or your management requirements, right? What exactly they are looking out for, like uh, what is the data that they're looking for. It could be into rows and columns, or what kind of representation they're looking out for. Is it they are looking for, instead of table, they are looking for any chart, or some even in the chart, something like bar graph or pie kind of chart. So what kind of representation that they're looking out for, right? And sometimes they are not sure. You need to analyze based on the requirement, and you have to look out for the best approach how to represent it, right? So whether a table, chart, or some kind of pie diagrams, or sometimes dashboard, like having multiple tables in the same report in one window. You wanted to have multiple charts, some 7 or 8 pie diagrams in the full report, and down below, if somebody clicks on that, each individual pie diagram, you wanted to take them to a granular report, right? And again, if somebody clicks on for further detail information on the second level of report, it has to take them to a still more granular report of a third level, right? So that kind of linking of multiple reports. So first of all, understand what are the customer requirements, right? And then see how to represent the information, right? And the very first thing that you'll check is if it is already available as a built-in report, right? So don't try to reinvent the wheel. So most of the times the information is already available as part of some built-in reports, right? So see if that suffices your requirement, because customer might ask some 10 different items, but at least the built-in reports will give 5 or 6, right? So show that report to them, and if they're happy with that, then don't even get into reinventing the wheel, right? But if you feel that necessary, there's definitely you need to create a new report, then from your side the first activity would be from where you can get the all the data, right? So you should know the views and tables. In SCM you should know the views and tables, and accordingly you have to first understand, okay, this particular information what my customer is asking, it is not part of one single table, it is part of 10 different tables or 4 different tables, and how to get all that information into a single table. So that is where you will start your exercise, right? That is your first step to start the exercise. First, if you have that understanding from which view, which table you have to combine this information and put it into one location, right? If you have that kind of understanding, right, it will make the entire process easier for you. So you can directly get into SQL Management Studio, get all that information from different views, uh, write a proper query until unless you finally get the exact requirement. Keep on writing. Sometimes you have to write if conditions, if else kind of. Sometimes it would be like just a where condition is enough, right? Sometimes cases are required. Different cases needs to be given there. So it might be simple to complex. Sometimes it is like a union of 4 or 5 views, right? Or joining inner joins, outer joins. So there are multiple things. So first of all, if you have the requirements clear with you, right, and if you know how they you wanted to represent it, right, and if you're sure that it is not part of built-in reports, and then proceed with from where I can get this data from SCM database, and proceed with writing a query, right, guys? So now I want you to challenge me with any custom report. So that let's take any if for first let's take a simple report, then we can, if you want, I can even create a complex report. So you guys can tell me based on your experience, you can just give me any example, like try to create a report on XYZ. Go ahead, guys.
Amar here. I can hear you very feebly. I think Manohar, we have lost it.
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh,
Yeah, actually there was a network drop because of rain in Hyderabad. There was a power loss, right? Okay, I'm back, guys. So I was asking you to give me any requirement, and suddenly there was a network loss. Anyone, please?
Oh, I was just saying regarding the Windows difference 32 or 64-bit report.
So, like, you mean to say how many machines are on 32-bit and how many machines are on
Yes,
64-bit?
yes.
Okay. So, architecture, guys, add more columns to it. Add couple more columns to it. When you require architecture and what else you need?
Uh, Capacity of hard disk, capacity of RAM.
Okay.
What are the applications installed?
Apps installed, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anil, few points from your side as well. So now you guys are my customers, right? You're giving me you guys are my customers, so you're giving me a requirement here. So you want to see the architecture, you want to see how many, what is the RAM of those machines or hard disk space, and the apps installed. And Anil, can you give me a couple more columns there? Anil, are you there?
Yes, Manohar.
Okay. Maybe you're on mute.
Yes,
I was
yes,
ask,
yes, yes.
so I was asking, so if you can give a couple more columns, because Amar and Sai gave me a couple of columns there, like architecture, RAM, hard disk space, and apps installed. Anything else from your side into that custom report?
It's a standard applications, the standard software.
So that's already covered, right? So they're asking like, see, basically,
Yes.
in your environment, we wanted to get a report which will show you like, well, what is the architecture of that computer, what is the RAM of that machine, hard disk space, and how many applications are installed on that machine, and what are those, right?
Nice.
So beyond that,
The last lockdown user.
okay, makes sense. Last lockdown user and probably
And Manu, how long this application was used? Like how many people are using the licensed application?
okay, that's a software metering part, right?
Software metering gadgets.
Okay, okay, okay. So now we have at least like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, this is the for first thing is I got the requirements from the customer, right? So now I have to understand like first of all, is this something which is already available as part of built-in report, right? Definitely it is not, because in a built-in report, if you go here, you'll get bits and pieces of it, but not all of these together. Wait a minute. So if I go to
Hello?
Yeah, Anil.
Okay.
Yeah. Today it looks like we are going to play this hide and seek game. So because of the rain, every now and then the power is going and coming back. I see.
Heavy rain in Nizampet.
Sorry?
It's raining heavily in Nizampet. So maybe we can have some power issues as well.
Yeah, the same is here in Gachibowli. I stay in Gachibowli, so it's the same here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I see Sai has turned offline. Looks like there's no power in his location. Okay, so I was telling, like if you go to the hardware, right, you have individual reports which says computer information for a specific computer. If I run this report, and if I give any one single computer name, mate as 01, let's see what information it brings up, because it says hardware information, right? So it should have almost all this what you asked for. Let's see. So it gives the OS, it gives the physical memory, right? The IP address, manufacturer model, the processor, but you don't have the architecture though. Yes, so you have this information, RAM information you have, the OS information you have, and the manufacturer model. In this case, since it's a VM, you don't have much information, but in reality, you'll have the actual manufacturer model information, right? So this is what you're getting from this report. And if you're going to see, you have individual one for memory, and I guess there's one for the processor. So this is giving the processor speed and other things, and if I click further drill down, it is taking me back to the same general report, right? Okay, and what else I have? I have disk. So computers with a specific hard disk size or with low free disk space, right? Disk information of a specific computer. For example, so here it is giving me the local fixed disk C drive. It is giving me the size. So currently, though it is not telling me the free space, there is a column for even that, right? It is telling me the size of it and then the free space available. So now if you clearly observe, we are definitely getting the information what our customer asked us, right? So my customer asked me to get this architecture, RAM, hard disk space, and also the apps install logged on users. You can get even that information here. Like if you go to, what was that? We wanted apps installed, right? You have software companies and products. So all invented products for a specific or company computers with a specific product name and version. There should be one with ADR, ARP, software registered in ARP. So run this. Again, give the computer name. So this one is giving me on this particular computer Visual C++, Silverlight, right? And VLC Media Player, Adobe Reader, Google, and other applications are installed. So all the applications that are installed as part of add remove programs, I have them here, right? So now almost every information that my customer is asking, I do have them, but I can clearly see that they are into different reports, right? So either I should try to convince my customer, like, say this information you have it in different reports. If that is okay, you have an option to export the information, right? So you can always export this information into an Excel sheet. You can save it as an Excel sheet, and then using Excel, people are very familiar doing VLOOKUPs, this, that, and all. So maybe you can still use that traditional way and explain the customer if they can, they are okay with getting all these different Excel sheets. Maybe not for individual computers. What you can do is instead of, you can select a report which says not for a single computer, but applications installed on all the machines, not a specific computer, right? Then you'll have one single Excel sheet with all computer names and their applications installed. Similarly, all computer names with the RAM, all computer names with hard disk space. So like that, you'll have multiple Excel sheets, and then you can just do a VLOOKUP and the common primary key would be your computer name. So wherever the computer name matches, put all these 5-6 columns into one single Excel sheet, right? Even that can be done. You can have some 5-6 Excel sheets and put everything into one single Excel sheet and give it to the customer. So that's one way. Or else, okay, now the second thing is, see, there is one requirement out of these columns which have a dependency, that is software metering part. See, Amar asked for, can we get the uses of the application as part of these columns? Yes, we can get it. But the key point here is, on every single machine there could be different set of applications installed, and for each of those applications you may or may not have a software metering rule. Until unless you have a software metering rule for that application, for example on this machine I have Visual C++, right? And I may or may not create a software metering rule for Silverlight or for Visual C++, right? Or .NET framework. So until unless you create it, you don't get a entry here, software, the uses of it, right? And not only just that, it has to run for a certain period, like for a month. Only then you can show them that usage in that entire month. So that, see, usage always comes with a period, right? So you should define that period as well. So there is a dependency. The dependency here is to the customer. You'll ask them like, okay, on each machine there could be some hundreds of applications, and in real time what will happen, most of the applications are installed manually, not even from Sccm. Like the individual user, he goes to internet and he downloads some application, and that is lying on his ad remove programs, right? Then that information can be pulled from Sccm because it is there on his ad remove programs. But then how are you going to measure the uh, software metering part of it, right? So for that, that's a dependency. So you need to have better discussions with your customer. Ask them, make them understand that though you have all the apps installed, though you get all the apps installed information from the inventory, the metering part have a dependency on the creation of metering rules, right? And also the duration, at least for a month or 2 months, you need to have that information. Only then you can provide it, right? So then you'll have a meaningful discussion out of it, meaningful conclusion like, okay, we don't want all the apps installed. We want only specific apps. They will come back saying that, okay, only just check the machines with, for example, since he said licensed applications, so maybe Office 2013, for example, right? Or like AutoCAD 2016, right? So maybe it will drill down to 2 applications or 3 applications wherein they'll ask, okay, in your environment, check for these 2 or 3 applications and show me only the computer names which has these applications, and then I want the uses only for these specific applications. Amar, make sense?
Yes.
Right? So instead of just having all the applications installed, then the customer would come back if he really wants the software uses of it. Then he'll come back saying that no, I'm not worried about all the applications. Maybe my requirement is not right. So my requirement is I just want it for only 5 or 10 applications that I have. I'm only interested to see the applications uses for this, right? So either get that confirmation from them, right? Or else they might even drop this part and they'll say, "Oh, no, I just need only this." So usage is separately can be considered as a separate report, right? Only for these 2 applications. So that's the thing. So in my case, you tell me which way you want me to do. Do you want me to pick any application because I have VLC media player, but then I need to have a software metering rule associated with it, and we need a certain duration to get that usage thing. So maybe what we can do is software metering part we can put it aside for this report, and we can have the other things. Guys, you are with me on this part?
Yes,
Sure,
Manoj.
man.
Correct. Okay, so now I had a meaningful discussion with my customer, and now I've drilled down to this. Now once everything is finalized, what is my first step? My first step is from where I can get all this data. So let's open SQL Management Studio. So under SQL Management Studio, I have database, CM_May, then I have so many tables here, right? And I also have views, right? So there are so many views here. So how do I know under which view I'll have this information, or under which table I'll have this information, right? So generally, let me give you one or two important views, mostly used views, like v underscore r underscore system. So first of all, are you guys aware of what's the difference between a table and view? At least in a layman knowledge, like what will be there in table and what will be there in view? Amar or Anil, anyone?
No.
Amar, from your side?
I feel both are almost the same. View will have more details. That's what is my understanding. Table would be the rows and columns. It will be in a tabular format. View would be more in detail.
Mhm. So you're half right. Like view will have more details, but yes, at the end of the day, anything should just have the rows and columns. So tables and views both are same. Like you will have the same rows and columns, but the difference is a is a view is a mixture of or a combination of multiple tables. So view is like that's a perspective that you wanted to look out from it for multiple tables. This is the information that I want to gather. From this table I want this part, from this table I want this part, from this table I want this column. So then together you're creating a view. So the view is actually depending on multiple tables in the background, and it is giving you a clear cut information which is actually required, and that's what you wanted to see, right? So now if you are trying to write a report, and even in the report not all information is available in single view, right? Then again you have to go to multiple views to get a final report, because report is again a customer's requirement is jumping between multiple views. In that case, whenever you're writing a custom report, whenever you're trying to create a custom query, my suggestion is it's better to query the views rather than querying the tables, because even with views you have to query at least 4 or 5 views, but if you are going behind tables you have to query at least 15 to 20 tables. Make sense, guys? You understand the difference between a table and a view?
Yes, man.
Okay, see, for example, if I click on any view here, let me take anything for that matter, app dt deployment summary. This is what it says. So application deployment type, deployment summary. It says this is a view. So view always starts with v underscore, right? So view, and if I want to see view dependencies, so this view is running on a there is a function which is depending on this, objects that depend on this, objects on which this depends, that is the view depends. Looks like it has got good amount of tables. Let's see. Did it pick such a big view, or is it just my server which is slow? There you go. So it says this view, application DT deployment summary, is dependent on another view, app DT deployment results per client, and that view is dependent on collections table and users, and inside collections again there is furthermore, right? Collections underscore G, and then you have it is depending on alert class, client operations, right? There are so many things which this view is dependent on. So based on all of them, this has been derived. So that's what I was telling you. If you have to get this information, query the table, you're getting into this detail. So all this is a collection underscore rules is a table. As you can see it, the type is table, right? So like this, there are multiple tables from which you are getting this information and you are able to see the final step. All you wanted to see is application deployment type. What is the deployment summary? So what happened when I ran a application deployment? Right? Finally, that information is there in single view, but if you have to get that information on your own, you have to query all these tables, right? So that's the reason always when you're writing a custom report, it's better just query the view and not the tables. I hope this stuff is clear now, right? So now, so let's look into only the views now. So we are not getting into tables, so only views. So the standard views, there is one view called as v underscore r underscore system, which will have information related to, as it says, v underscore r underscore system, that is the resource is system here, right? So let's see, select star. So always the SQL command will start with what are the columns that you wanted to choose from a table, right? What columns I want. So I'm saying select star means all columns from this. I want all columns. I want to see all the columns. When I say v underscore r underscore system, okay. It is saying invalid object because currently it is referring to master database. Ours is not master database. Ours is CM underscore May. This is our database. Right. So select star from v underscore r underscore system. Execute. So this is giving you the resource ID, resource type, whether the machine is active or not, with respect to the client agent. Okay, SCM client agent, whether it is active or not, what AD site it belongs to. Right. So then it has got so much of other information like the creation date, the CPU type. So in the CPU type you have Intel 64 and all that, right? Then you have the distinguishing name, the FQDN or the distinguishing name of that. You have full domain name and multiple others. You have the last logon timestamp, you have the username, and so almost most of the critical information that you seek from a system, right? So that is always here. But still, you don't have any information related to its hard disk. You don't have any information related to its RAM, right? So such information is not here. Similarly, this is everything for Windows car underscore system. So similarly, you will have select star from v underscore user. So the resource is user here. See the user creation date, user distinguished name. So here we have two users in our domain. One is administrator, the other one is John, right? So it is giving the these two user details. Sai, is that you?
Yeah, Manor.
Yeah, I see the name is different, so I just wanted to check with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yep. So I was telling you, like from v underscore I underscore system, you can get all this system related info, whereas for user, you get all the user related info, right? So similarly, the other one which is most useful is, you asked me for add remove programs. So there is one view called select star from v underscore add underscore remove programs. You get it here, right? So this one will give you the installed applications list. So you have the resource ID. So always resource ID is the most common column in among all these views, right? So for every computer you will have a resource ID. So if you look at the Sccm, if you go to assets and compliance, guys, is the screen faster or is it loading slow? Yesterday I had complaints that the screen is loading slow, right? Is it the same?
It's okay for, no, it's okay for
Normal.
today, I think.
It's okay.
No,
Okay, okay, great. So if you see this machine here, reference underscore win7, okay, if I go to the properties of it, this computer here have this resource ID, right? 16777220, right? Like this, every resource that you have in SCCM, right? They are associated with one resource ID, and that is a unique resource ID, right? This is how SCCM understands any information about that. So what you will do is, you can always use this resource ID to join one or more views. So if you want information about, see, there is a computer here in the first view. If I select this, I have 167777. What's the computer name here? It's 16777220 is reference. If I want to see for Maytest01, go to properties, and what's the resource ID? Okay, 219 is for Maytest01, right? 219. What I'm doing, I'm going back here. If I see 219 resource ID, I'll get all the details of that 219, and I also want add remove programs on 219, right? So then I can join these two v underscore system and add remove programs on 219 to get further details. For example, it looks like this. I say select star from v underscore system, right? Join. So you don't need to write again select, right? Join with v underscore systems on. So we're asking where to join. So I wanted to join on in the first view where v underscore system. There you'll have something called resource ID. That resource ID should be equal to v underscore add remove programs, right? Under v underscore add remove, wherever you have resource ID. If both these resource IDs are equal, I want you to join there, right? So what will happen, wherever 219 is there in v underscore system, there exactly it will match with add remove programs 219, and it will give you the information. Now with this small query which I just wrote, I'll get all computers and all the applications that are installed on each of these computers, right? I'm getting all the applications that are installed on each of these computers. Like that, I'll get all the computer names. But say suppose I want it only for Maytest01, right? So then I'm furthermore drilling it down. So I'll put where. I'm putting a condition here, where resource ID equals to, so what is the resource ID? 16777219, right? I'm telling where the resource ID is 16777219. Only there I want to get any information which is available for 16777219 on the system view, and anything which is available on the add remove programs. So if you, before running the query, if you see there is a red line here, the red line is for resource ID. Why? Because it says it's an ambiguous column to me. So which resource ID are you talking about? Are you talking about the resource ID in the first view, or are you talking about the resource ID in the second view? Which one should be equal to this, right? So you tell, okay, where v underscore r underscore system dot resource ID. If the resource ID in the first view is equal to this, right, and it is joined on these two, So let me split this into easy understand for your easy understanding. So I am joining this v underscore view. I'm joining it with v underscore add remove programs on where this resource ID is equal to this resource ID. So that is where I wanted to join these two, and the condition is where the resource ID is equal to 1. Now what I'm getting exactly on May test 01 the applications installed. That's what I'm expecting. Let's click execute and see what happens. So currently if you see you have 221, you have 219 in between. So there are entries for 219 and 221, right? So execute. See, now it is giving me only for 219. So there's no 221, only for 219. And it's not only giving me v underscore system details. It is also giving me, if I go here towards the right side, it is giving me the applications as well. Right, it is telling me the Microsoft C++, Silverlight, and other application VLC Media Player, all that is installed. Right. So now my point here is, I don't want all this unnecessary junk. Right. So who created this junk? It's me, because I've selected star. Star means all columns which are coming from these two views. I want everything. So now I'll say I don't want all. All I need is, yes, resource ID I need it. Right. And what else I need? I need the computer name. I need the application name. I need, do I have version here somewhere? Yeah, I have version. So I need the version. So again for resource ID it is asking, there is an ambiguous. Please be specific. So I'll tell okay, under v underscore system, whatever is the resource ID you have, bring that. Now what are the columns that I'm asking here? Wait a minute, it is not comma, it is dot here. Okay, so there are no red lines, so the syntax is correct. So under v underscore system, I need the resource ID. Then I need the name, that means the computer name. I need the display name, the application name, and the application version. That's all I need, right? So if I execute, so now it gives me clearly computer resource ID, computer name, the application name, and the application version. So so there are some 14 applications installed. So as you can see, each one of them are unique. So this is C++ 2013 x86, and this is redistributed x64. Then this is x86, but the version is different, right? So these are the total number of, so there are 14 unique applications installed on Maytest 01. Guys, are you clear with this query? Or do you have any questions?
Manohar,
No, Manu.
Yes, I go ahead.
hello. Okay, there we have given VR system dot resource ID, right?
Yes.
So where is the table below? No, first we have given resource ID. After that we have changed to VR system ID. So my question is VR system ID table. I cannot see there.
No. Okay. So what we did here was, initially I gave select star from v underscore r underscore system. This is a different view. Okay. If I run this, so here I have all the information, like for 219 I have 220 or 221. So for everything I have all these information related to a computer. So I will not have any applications installed. It have only information related to the computer related stuff is here, right? And similarly, if I am running select star from, no, I understand in between your there was a network drop for you, so uh, you did not follow this part. So if I run select start from v underscore add remove programs, I get information which has only the application related information, right? So the common point between these two is my resource ID. So here also I have a resource ID column, there also I have a resource ID column. So what I did is I've joined these two views on resource ID. I said I want to join v underscore system with add remove programs on the resource ID, where this resource ID is equal to that resource ID. That is where I want to join both of them, so that I get one single view, right? Out of that, again, I wanted to get information only for Maytest Lab 01, Maytest 01, and I know the resource ID of Maytest 01 is 1677729. So I'm saying that only where the resource ID is equal to 1677729, only for that I want this joined view, right, guys? So I got that information. Then I have so many columns, and most of the columns are junk. I don't need all the columns. So this is just a column that I'm asking. I'm saying that I want the first column should be the resource ID, the second column should be name, third column should be the display name, and fourth column should be version. So these are the four columns that I asked for, and hence I have four columns. The first column is resource ID, second is name, display name, and the version. Sai, make sense?
Okay. So Manor, after on, can you make the screen a little bit bigger, please?
Sure. Um,
No, the thing is after on, we have written VR system dot resource. Is it equal to?
it's equal to. Let me see if I can increase the font here. I've never done that though.
Yes,
Uh,
we cannot.
Guys, have you ever increased font within the SQL Management
No,
Studio?
Manor, I guess we cannot do it actually.
Okay,
No, Mano.
okay. I was just trying to help you out, but I don't think that option is there.
Okay, Manor, I got it. I
You got
got
it
it. I
right?
was confused there. Yeah, yeah. Join and on and the table I have confused. That's
Uh,
fine. I guess. Okay. I got it, Manor.
okay, so let me do at least something for you. Is it better now?
Yeah, Manor. Okay. Yeah, Manor.
Right? So select from this thing and join between these two, system and name, and I'm joining on the resource ID column on in the first view is equal to resource ID column in the second view, where the resource ID is equal to 16777. Yeah,
Okay. The VR system ID is equal to VR uh, is equal to V add remove programs is another table, right?
yes, yes. So actually these two are two different views, buddy. You were not there in the while I was discussing about it. So tables are different and views are different. Okay,
Okay, okay.
so
I
when
have
we
got.
when we say table is just you'll say suppose you have 10 different items in one table and another 10 different items in another table, right? Like that there might be so many tables, but then view is depending on multiple tables and it gets that information. Maybe I did not explain it better last time. I could show them. See, if you are going to any one of these tables, and if you go to the view dependencies, a view is depending on a table, on multiple tables. So if you want to get the information about anything, it's better to write a query against a view, because view will obviously have multiple tables information. Rather than you getting in querying 10 different tables, it is better to just query one view to get the final output. Make sense, I?
I just want to know after that on in the query,
Mhm.
after that on, can we just run only that once so that I
You mean to
can
say
understand?
that without where?
No, no, not after. I just want to see the both tables once, the VR system resource ID and also VR AD remove. Okay, my
Okay.
requirement is V.
See, okay, let me try to show that. See, this is select star from VR system, right? So say suppose if I run these two, So the above view that you're seeing here is v underscore r underscore system. The below view what you're seeing here or table, okay, is v underscore add remove programs. Make sense? Now can you see both of them together?
Yeah, Manu.
So here also you have resource ID, here also you have resource ID. Whereas the
Okay.
information that you have in the first view is entirely different. It is about the system. And the second view
System.
is about the applications. Okay, it is about the display name and application. So what I did, I joined these two views on the resource ID, and I'm trying to get the some part of information from here and some part. So for example, computer name 0 is coming from the first view. If you see here, you have somewhere you should have that name 0 thing. Yeah. So name 0, you see this column name 0. So I'm telling that I want name 0 column. I want a display name 0 column, which is from the below view, and then I want version 0 column, which is again in the below view. So what I did, basically I joined these two, and I'm taking one column from here, one column from here, and one column from here.
Okay.
Got it,
Okay.
say?
I got it. Yes.
Okay. So is it clear for others as well?
Yes, man.
Okay. So let's proceed further. So see how to make it look much easier now, much simpler to at least to look. So first of all, change these column names. It says resource ID name 0. So instead of name 0, you can put here as computer name. Display name 0 is application name. So all you need to do is you just no need to give a comma, just give a space and give the column name, the desired column name, and you give here version. Or else what you can also do is if you want to have a space in between this, say I'm not giving any space. If you want to give a space like this, you can mention name as computer name, display name as display name 0 as application name, version as version 0 as version, application version or the version. So with this, what will happen now? Just observe the columns here. You have name 0, display name 0, and version 0, right? So what will happen is now it is changed. The column name has been, so it is represented much more easy. It's now more readable, right? Computer name, application name, and version, right? So this is one thing what you can do. And the other one, instead of calling them again and again, say suppose here in this case, say I've written v underscore system almost like how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Same goes with the ARP, right? I had to write it multiple times. I have to write the same name. So what I can do is instead of writing multiple times, even after the view, I can just give a reference to it. I will call this as table A and this is table or view. So if you are more comfortable using the word table, let's use it. So table A and table B, right? So now I'm calling v underscore system as A and this is B. So here I don't need to write the entire v underscore. So I can say A dot resource ID is equal to B dot resource ID, and here also A dot resource ID, even in this also. Here also I can put A dot. So now the entire query is a little bit smaller, right? The query became smaller, and if you execute, the result is the same, right? Only thing, now what I'm doing is I'm referring wherever next time if I want to write anything from, if I want one more column here, right? I can just put A dot that column, or if I know that column is in B, I can put B dot that column instead of writing again v underscore add remove programs, v underscore system. Guys, this part is clear. The query has become smaller now, and it is giving you more readable information, right, guys? So now, so we got the information related to add remove programs. Now what else we want? We also wanted information related to the architecture, right? You asked me for architecture, RAM and other stuff. So where is that? information. So now I just gave you a couple of views, system, attribute programs. But in reality, you guys don't have much experience with SCCM views, so SCCM table. So you don't know where exactly you have to search for. So there are so many views. How exactly you'll go and search for where you'll have attribute programs or where you will have memory and other information, right? So for that, what you'll do is, this is the query that I'm going to write. This is a generic query. It's not only for SCCM, it works for any SQL database. So basically what you'll do here is just have this one thing with you that will help you. No, you guys no need to memorize this. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to check all the, just like a search button. This query is a search I'm doing across all the views that I have, right? I'm checking wherever in the rows or columns if I have the string like memory or anything for that matter. It is just like searching within all the rows and columns where column name, like in our case we wanted something related to memory. So since I put where like, I'll put percentage memory percentage.
Hello, Mana, sorry to interrupt you.
Mhm.
Uh, there is, I guess my laptop may shut down. There's no power actually here.
Okay,
Maybe disconnected.
okay, sure. I can continue recording this for you.
Okay, Mana. I'm not sure whether if the power comes, I'll continue. I mean, I'll stay connected. I'm not sure I'll be there or not.
Got it. No issues, buddy.
Okay.
Right. So basically, if I run this, I think this it is table underscore name inherit column name. Okay, there you go. There's a typo. Okay. So what I did just now is I'm telling it check under the schema of all these different views, tables, that all that you have. Check for if there are any column, if there is any column which has the value memory in it. I want to know all those views. Now it is helping me to find, instead of me searching into going into all these views, it is helping me. It is telling under GS underscore computer underscore system, there is something called total physical memory. Okay, under same for example, there is GS underscore physical memory, there is memory type, there is virtual memory, free, how much free memory is there, right? Or forward buffer memory. So like this, it is showing me wherever memory string is there, it is showing me all those views. So this will help me in writing my query. So now I know where memory is. For example, previously we wanted to know what is the other one, architecture, right? So let's see if there is somewhere it has architecture, the word architecture. So you have architecture key, and there you go. So here you have OS architecture, the HS operating system you have, and there should be, if there is HS, there should be a GS as well. Okay. So you can query v underscore GS underscore operating system to get the OS architecture. So let's see this. Control C, select star from v underscore GS operating system. So if you execute it, it is giving me the resource ID again. So now again I can join on based on the resource ID, right? And what is the information it is giving me? It has we wanted to get architecture, right, from this. What's the name of it? MLLMNO. Okay, so there you have OS architecture column is there. However, you don't have information for that. Is there anything else? Okay, that's it. So here I'm not getting the OS architecture, though I have a view for it. There's no information there. Okay, I have GS processor. Let me check that one. Here also you have an architecture column, but the information is not there. But yes, it is here in the address width, right? It shows it is a 64-bit machine, right? If I have a 32-bit machine here, it would have been either 32 or 86, x86 or 32, right? So though I don't have that information here in the architecture column, I have it in the address width. So I can pick this information from here. And now what I will do is I'll use this part. I'm just showing it for your understanding. I can use this part and I'll say join this and on. I want to join one more, right? On. What is the new one? I want to join. Wait a minute. I want to join v underscore gs underscore processor, right? And I want to call it column C. I mean to say table C, and I want it to join on a dot resource ID is equal to C dot resource ID, where both the resource IDs are matching. I want to get addition. So this is computer name is from a dot name, right? And I want one more column towards the end. So this is b dot version. So it is giving a red line here now because it is ambiguous, because this version 0 is also there in the processor. So it is asking me, do you want the information from this add remove programs version or the processor version? I'm saying no, it should be add remove programs version. So just give b dot so that it doesn't have that ambiguous line there. And from C, what is that we are looking from C? The new table or new view. We are looking for address width, right? So let's see what will happen now. If I execute it, I need to get one more here. And address width, I want the name as, to understand it better, I want it as architecture. Run the query. Now I know the computer name, I know the application is installed, the version of the application, and I know the architecture is 64-bit. Right, guys? Guys, are you with me? Are you understanding the value out of this?
Yes, Manu.
Right. So similarly, so the more columns you have, the more columns your customer asked you, like architecture, RAM, HDD, apps installed, and all that. The more you're asking, the more number of views or tables you need to keep on joining to our main query, and then pick a column from there, right? So as long as you know from which table you'll get that information, as long as you know from which view you have to query it, right? That should be pretty simple. Say suppose now you have this entire information. So instead of, I'm not getting into the other things, so I can definitely, but it might take more time. I see already Sai and Amar dropped off. Maybe Sai already informed, and maybe the same with Amar as well. So let me now turn this query into a report, right? Anil, you understood, right? So we can add few more columns to it. So do you want me to add one more column for last logged on user, or hard disk, or is it okay proceeding with the report? You understood the process. Anil? Anil, you still there?
Manohar, I just got a call from my office.
Okay. So I was asking like, so do you want, see, I've already written this query, right? So we can convert this query into a report now. So do you want me to convert this into a report and show it to you, or you want me to add few more columns like last logged on user and hard disk space? If you understand if you understood the process how to get each column there, then I'll proceed moving to the reporting piece.
Can we generate a report?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get that.
First, let's generate a report with this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So do you want me to generate a report out of this query, or you want me to add a few more columns to it?
Fine, I'll just generate a report.
Okay, let's generate a report. So let's do one thing. Now I have the query. So how to generate a report? So let's go back to our reporting piece. Right. I'm going to that URL, reports. So what you'll do here, you can click on report builder. So the very first time it downloads the report builder 3.0 and it installs, and then you can start creating reports. Okay. So it is asking which kind of, what is the report that you want to create? You want to create a table report or a blank report, chart or map? What do you want? So let's take a blank report and then we'll build on top of it. I'll say I need a blank report. Okay. So there's no title here. So let me create a title. So what is the report I'm preparing here? It is for um, hardware information about um, hardware information. Okay. So it is for all computers. I want hardware information. Then I want a table here, right? So what I'll do, I'll say insert table, right? So it is asking which data set, or you want to create a new data set, or which data set you want to use. So I'm saying I'm going to create a new data set. Data set is nothing but the query, right? What I've just created. Use the current Windows user. So here I'll say edit as text, and I'll just copy paste the query that I've created instead of writing the query again. So since I already have a query, I can do Control A, Control C. Wait a minute, here it is very specific to one computer. I want it for all computers, right? So I'm removing this part here, the where condition I'm removing. I want it for all computers in the report. So select this. and inside the query, paste it. So design a query. So I have pasted. I have already designed query in SQL Management Studio. I pasted it here. I can run and see how the results are. Is there any syntax issue? If I run, okay, results are coming here, right? So next. Now it says, tells me that from your query, I identified that there is resource ID, computer name, application name, version, and architecture. So how do you want that information? Okay, do you want to group on anything, or how do you want? I'll say no. I want the resource ID. I want computer name, right? I want application name. I want the version, and I want the architecture. It's not the sum of resource IDs, the resource ID itself, right? So I am asking, I need all the information starting from resource ID till architecture. Even architecture is also. Wait a minute. Or else architecture, actually I can have it here. Or else what I can also do is I can also have architecture as a column group or a row group. Okay, so basically I'm grouping it, saying that based on 64, how many 64 I have, or how many 32-bit I have. So if I want to do that way, I can put them in a group like column group or row group. For now, let me show you a tabular format. So next, so it is telling you this is how the table would look like. Okay, next. Okay, it is giving me architecture as a first column. No, I don't want it as a first column. Let me bring this down. Next, next. So these are different colors like how I wanted a report. Alright, I'll say corporate, finish. Okay, I can make it a little bigger. And I can have this in the center. Right, so now I have resource ID, computer name, application name, version, and architecture. Let's run and see how the report would look like. So it says this is how the report looks like. It shows the resource ID, computer name, application name, version, and the architecture of it. Right? So I have for target Windows 7, I have the application and the version and other details. Same goes with um, computer name as well. Okay, maybe resource ID is not that really useful for a end user, right? End user is not bothered what is the resource ID of it. So maybe you will say that I want to drop this resource ID thing, delete column. So I just need computer name, application name, version, and architecture, right? So run it. You just have these details, and maybe architecture, you don't need that bigger one. Maybe I need more space for application name, right? Right, guys. So now I have a clear report which is giving me the computer name, the application installed, the version, and the architecture. I can still make a change to it. So how about having a group here, right? So if I want to have a group, what I need to do is, let me show the other one, table wizard. I'm saying I want a group, right? Based on the computer. How does it look like? I want a computer. Inside that I want to know the application, version, and architecture. I'll show you how does this look like. Application name, version, and architecture. So next. I don't want any subtotals. Next. Corporate style. Finish. So let me put this and remove the other one that we created earlier. I'm removing it. I just want to show you the difference. So earlier you're getting all the computer names and then the application name, right? So now what will happen? instead of getting computer name 10 different times, let me run and show that report to you. So you have May test 01, and when you click on May test 01, it is going to show you all the applications in May test 01, right? So this is much more organized way. And if you click target win 7, you get all the applications in target win 7. Right, guys? So Anil, are you following me? So are you able to understand?
Yes.
Right. So now I have created a report. Let me save this report. I'll save this report. So where do I want to save? Under configuration May folder. There are default, these are all default folders. There is one folder for me. I've just created one folder here called my reports. I can rename this as computer hardware details. Save. Now this report is saved. You don't need the SQL Management Studio. You don't need the query anything. So now you are in the reporting page. So how do you access that report? You go to Configuration Manager May. In my case, I see the Internet Explorer accessing reports from IE browser is a little bit slower. So let me show it to you from the console itself. So here we have created it under My Reports, right? So if you go to My Reports, there's one computer hardware details. This is what we just created. Run the report. See, this is how the report looks like. May test 01 target. So if in your case, if you have 100 different machines, so for each machine you'll get a plus sign, and then when you click in it, then only you'll get the all the application names, version, and architecture of it. Is this clear, Anil? Do you have any questions here, Anil, about creating custom reports?
No, no, no. But the query you're writing is in SQL, or do we need to have a knowledge on VB script or PowerShell or here?
No. It is purely SQL, right? So there's no. I have not used VBS or PowerShell.
Okay, okay. But anyways, we need to, for reporting services, we need to have basic knowledge on this SQL query.
Yes, SQL query you need to have. So basic thing is you need to know how to join the tables, right? How to join the tables, and anyways, I've showed you one query. So if you want, I can send this query to you guys as well. Where is that? Okay, I've closed SQL Management Studio. Okay, there is one query which I've written there, which is actually querying all the views, all the tables, and finally it is telling you out of all these views and tables where exactly you have architecture information, where exactly you have OS information, right? So that single query, keep it with you, and whenever you want to, whenever your customer comes with any requirement, at least you can run that query first, directly copy paste and run that query, and you'll know in which column, which view you have memory, in which view you have architecture information, like that, right? And then based on that, you can build up your own query and report. Right, guys. So again, my suggestion to you, right from day one, if you have your own lab, you could have by now explored all this on your own, right? So having a lab is very important, and I know most of you have not created lab, uh, and I've also suggested you to use hydration kit. If you don't have enough time to create your own lab, you could even now you can download the hydration kit, right? When you download hydration kit, it comes with um, a PowerShell scripts, and when you just run that hydration kit, there will be in one XML file. It will tell you whether you wanted this hydration for deployment or whether you're looking for this hydration for mobile device management, and there are multiple options. If you select that I am looking for OS deployment, then automatically it will create you one Sccm server, one MDT server, domain controller, and all those servers on your Hyper-V. So this entire process will take 2 hours, but you just need to double click the setup.exe, that's it. And by the time you come back after 2 hours, you'll have the entire domain controller, SCM server, MDT server, everything built, and you can just start using it, right? So I've already suggested that earlier. So guys, if you don't have a lab on your own, please try to download the hydration kit and start using it. Okay.
Yes, Manoj.
So I don't have anything much to cover under custom reporting unless until you have any questions, because I see Amar, Manju and Sai, all three of them dropped. So Anil, if you have any questions, let me know, or else we can drop up for the day.
Yeah, Manoj, like a few general questions, not on the discussion reporting, okay?
Hmm.
So see, I have two domains in my company.
Hmm.
So recently we have merged, so we have the two domains now, okay? And I have my own setup in SSM in my original domain. So can I access those computers or users? Can I manage those resources with my SCCM?
So if I understand correctly, you have two
Two
domains,
domains. Yes.
okay, and your SSM is installed on one of those domains.
Yes.
So your question is, can I access the users and computers of the other domain?
Yes.
So my point is, do you have trust between these two domains? Are they in a single forest?
Yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes. There is a trust between these two domains.
There is a trust, and they're under the same forest.
Yeah, of course. Maybe like see, recently we have merged, right? So we can authenticate both the users in any offices. So I think we have the replication and the trust between these two domains.
Mhm.
So we are under a single forest now.
Okay, then there's no issue. If that is the case, if you have trust relationship between those two, even if there are spread across multiple domains, you can still um, access the data. Because
Oh,
if you remember the schema extension, what we are doing, the schema
yes.
admin, it is a forest level role. It is not per domain, right?
Yeah, schema is a forest, right?
Right, it is a forest role. So the initial thing what we are doing is we are publishing all this SSM information using a schema admin. That means you are
Mm.
doing it at a forest level. So
Yes.
since you are doing it at a forest level, even though and you have a trust relationship between all these parent domains and child domains, obviously you'll get all that information into SSM. Only thing what you need to do is in the discovery methods, when you're doing here in the discovery methods, administration, hierarchy, make sure that you're adding all those domains here. So in the system discovery, if I'm running properties, add, browse. In my case, it is showing only mail app. In your case, if you have a forest and you have multiple domains, you will have multiple domains so shown here. So you will select that even the other domain. For example, in one selection, I am selecting in under mail app, I want computers, right? Then I'll select one more time. This time I'll select a different domain and computers. Make sense?
Yes.
So that way, all the different domain computers will be there part of your SCM console. Provided, as I told you, there should be a trust relationship and they are all in a same forest.
Yes. Okay. And one more thing, can we use this SSM in Linux?
So what is it you wanted to do on Linux? Is it for patch management or what exactly?
Anything, anything.
Okay, so here is the thing. Like um, there is no out of the box patch management from SCCM. What typically we do is typically for Linux, you have these configuration files which you need to deploy into that Linux machine. So what you can do is you can create those configuration files, because as part of patch management, you can see it is only connecting to WSOS and WSS to Microsoft Update Server,
Yeah.
right?
So as it's a package, we can do it, right?
Yes, you have to create that as a package, and then you can distribute that package to the Linux server. That is possible. That's one way. And the other way is there are other products, third-party products like SolarWinds. So what you can do is you can integrate SolarWinds with SCCM. There is a connector between SolarWinds and SCCM. If you can integrate these two, what will happen is, since SolarWinds is an expert into this patch management for Linux servers, so when integrated together, you will have an option even to do patch management. So that's one thing, one way. Clear, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So there are many third-party tools. So Big Fix from IBM, okay, will also help you. But then the Big Fix is from IBM and SCM is from Microsoft, right? So you cannot have an integration between those two. But you can try with third-party tools like, as I told you, SolarWinds. There is, if I'm not wrong, there's something called Luminescence or something like that. So such kind of third-party products can be integrated to get extended support for Linux devices.
Okay.
So
And today I can see a lot of in configuration manager in that folder I can see a lot of reports out there, right? So it's a custom report, like it's automatically by default it's created in that folder.
which one?
In that folder, in reporting services, we have that folder, right? Configuration manager underscore may.
So you're asking about this thing, right? These folders under
Yes, yes,
configuration underscore May. So these
yes,
these are
yes.
these are nothing but the ones that you're seeing, the built-in reports in your console. So in the built-in reports, you're seeing administrative security alerts, client push. So it is the same folders that you're seeing here as well. Administrative security alerts, asset intelligence, So these are the default folders created the moment you have a reporting service point. And under each one you have these reports. So all these reports are created the moment you install reporting services point.
Okay. So how can we can use this? Like recently I got access for this as well. So, but I'm like I can able to view that. That's it. So just I click. Can you explain those options to me?
I didn't get the question completely, Anil.
So we have a few things over here, right? Administration activity log or something. Can you open something on it?
See, for I've already showed that this morning. Like, so if you are going to hardware general, okay, you are
Mm-hmm.
getting computer information for a specific computer. So you click on here. Right? It is the same thing what I just showed you from the console. So here, computer name I'm giving May test 01 and say view report. So it will give me the computer related, the general computer information for that specific computer, like
Yeah.
who is the administrator, the domain, the OS, and other details. Like. So like that for any report, all you need to do is just select the criteria and run. For example, um, software distribution, right? You wanted to troubleshoot. You have pushed the software and you wanted to find what happened with that software distribution. So you click on software distribution. All deployments for a specific package, right? Or wait a minute, let me put into details view so that see all deployments for a specified package and program or all package and program deployments, right? So what I can do is, for example, on a specific computer, you want to find what happened to the application deployment, whether it was successful or not. For example, you push Adobe Reader or Google Chrome, you want to find out what exactly happened. So I'll click all package and programs deployments to a specified computer and I'll specify that computer name. I'll say the computer name is Matus01 view report. So it will show me all the deployments. So all deployments are, I have one Adobe Reader deployed. I have USMT capture deployed. So I'll say, okay, on Adobe Reader, what happened? So it says it succeeded, Adobe Reader succeeded and Adobe Reader has installed, right? So, but I want a detailed understanding. So now it is telling me it has been accepted. This particular program, package and program has been accepted by one machine. Okay, and it has installed successfully on that one machine. What is that one machine? That is again Matus01, but you can get the detailed information. Like if I click on accepted, it will tell me at what time it accepts. So Matus01 has got Adobe Reader package at on 19th May 2:38 a.m. That's when it got it. And if I go back, where's the back button? Succeeded. It is telling me the Matus01, it has the program completed with success at 2:40 a.m. So at 2:38 a.m. it received the notification, the policy, and 2:40 a.m. it has completed with success. Say suppose if you had an error here, it would have showed program completed with error, and then it would show you the error code. Last execution result, it will give you that exit code. So this way you can use these reports to find out if there are any issues with the software distribution. Clear, Anil?
Yes.
Any other questions, buddy?
Mm, nothing as of now. Like I just want to know the day-to-day activity of SCM admin.
Yeah, that anyways I'm covering on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll show you the upgradation part. How do you upgrade whenever Microsoft releases any new current branch? So how do you upgrade from SCM 2012 to that? I'll show you tomorrow. And the final
It
class
is
would
a
be,
upgrade, it's a cumulative update or complete restore, like a backup and restore of a system services.
Yeah, that is what I'll explain tomorrow. So there are both are there. So I'll explain tomorrow, like how you'll do a cumulative upgrade or how you'll do a complete backup and restore. But going forward,
Oh,
you'll not have this backup and restore funda. That is going to be rolled out.
okay.
And going forward, Sccm,
Mm.
they've already started doing in-console upgrades. Only just upgrade it. That's it. You don't need to do a backup and restore. You don't need to do
Oh, okay.
that. Okay. So we will discuss that in detail tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks, Manoj.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.